That's right. Well, good evening, everyone. This is Thursday, July 11, 2019. This is the Board of Selectmen meeting. First up, I would like to welcome Jenny Jacobson, Administrative Assistant to the Town Administrator, and Krista Zena, Health and Permitting Administration Assistant. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
For those of you, this is Kristen over here. That we haven't met. Bob Sikansky, Jonathan Keep, Stan Wysocki. If you have any questions or whatever, or any comments, or welcome for Kristen, please.
No, we're excited to have you here.
Yes.
Welcome,
Thank you.
and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Kristen gave a great interview, and can't wait for her to start.
Couple weeks, 2 weeks.
Yep.
2 weeks. Yeah. You have a little bit more summer to enjoy.
Yeah.
Yep. And Jenny was working for the Board of Health.
Yeah, and building department
And
in
building
Kristen's
department.
position.
And now you've stepped up, and
I
now you're
have.
taking Linda's spot, who we'll all miss, but we know we'll have great things coming from you. So thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, and
Jenny's
look
moved
forward to
over by one desk, so.
it. And I'm looking forward to Kristen starting more than anyone.
That's very true.
Well, sounds good. All right, then, well, next up on our agenda is an update on the status of the master plan. Eric, how are you?
So, we have a charter. I guess it's probably a good place to start, unless you wanted to go another direction, but
No.
maybe it'd be best to maybe just read it quick or something, so people
Sure. Go ahead.
people who are watching, the vast amounts of people who are watching. So, the planning board seeks to establish a committee to update Bolton's master plan. The committee is charged with assessing the current 2006 plan and amending the plan as necessary to provide a basis for decision-making regarding the long-term physical development of the municipality. The comprehensive plan shall be internally consistent in its policies, forecasts, and standards, and shall include but not be limited to the following elements in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 4181D. Goals and policies, land use plan, housing, economic development, natural and cultural resources, open space and recreation, services and facilities, transportation, and the impact to town finances and implementation of all of those items. Members of the committee shall be residents of Bolton with experience in Massachusetts policies, practices, planning, team building, population planning, traffic planning, municipal planning, economic development, land use and zoning, and finances. Members shall also represent special interests including cultural resources, open space and recreation, schools, housing, conservation, business, seniors, new residents, and long-term residents. 11 members shall be appointed by the planning board and shall report directly to the planning board and board of selectmen. So basically, this is a steering committee. So this committee will, those categories, goals and policies, land use, I think they'll define those even better, kind of have a plan, a direction plan for each one of those categories. And then what we're envisioning is staff a kind of task group to do each one of those. And they can come from the steering committee, but also, perhaps say the planning, maybe on the plan, somebody from planning board could join one of these task groups, or, when you do finance stuff, you can grab some advisory. So we want a very wide range of people and opinions on the steering committee, and then they'll create this task group, with a task group for each one of the columns to work on that part. So
There's no mention of taxes in any of this.
Well, so we did add impact to town finances and implementation.
Well, town finances is the balance sheet, the income statement, the budget, stuff
Mhm.
like that. Taxes is more the effects on the citizens. After the last master plan, it was frequently used by people to bolster their desires at town meeting, but it never took into account the effect of the cost of some of these proposals.
Well, we initially didn't have even that impact to town finances and implementation, and we added that in But we can definitely, we can add to it right now if you wanted to. We can say something like impact to town finances and
Just say
tax assessments.
You don't even have to say, just
Town finances and
put comma,
assessments.
taxes, comma,
Yeah, that's fine.
stuff like that.
Because we did intend it with that. We did intend for, we don't want to just, when we talk about, land use plan or whatever, we don't want to just have some pie in the sky, oh, we're just gonna purchase land. We want to say that, within the confines of
That's
how
kind of
it,
how it was, the
Yeah.
last master plan was used, which is
Exactly.
why I think there's
Right.
got to be some, not just what's the optimal use, but let's consider
yeah,
what limits let's consider some limits here, and
Right.
what are we going to do within, and set priorities within those limits.
yeah, I really hope to get some people, at least Brian Boyle or, somebody who knows the area really well to be on this steering committee and really tie in all of these categories back to, the finances.
Yeah,
and
and I
taxes.
think that was the thought process when we were creating the charter, was that, because we talked about putting taxes as a separate line item, but our thinking was that taxes was going to be part of the conversation for all of these topics.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a standalone topic in itself, but it would be addressed throughout the whole master plan. That was our thought process.
Except, you could do the whole master plan without ever addressing taxes,
Yeah.
even though it's touching everything, so.
We can definitely,
Yeah.
We can certainly add it. This
I'd
is not an
like to-
exhaustive list
okay.
by any means. There may be things that we're not even thinking about. That's why we added the language, not limited to, because
Right.
we understand that there could, like, for example, we don't have anything in here about like climate change and climate resiliency. I'm sure that'll be part of the conversation as well. So it's not an exhaustive list, but we certainly can add it if you think it's so important that it should be. Yeah, I totally get it. It
Well,
should be in the
that's my
charter.
opinion.
Yeah,
I don't know how
yeah.
other members of
so
the
we
selectmen
should
feel.
say the impact to town finances and tax assessments. Or something like that. Town finances, tax assessments, and implementation. I don't know how you want to word it, but.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you can have the most wonderful master plan, but,
Yeah.
financially, it's not supportable, so.
You could put, I have a problem with impact, I think it should be effect, but anyway. To town finances, comma, taxes, comma, and implementation.
It's fine. The other thing, I don't know if do we need to mention, because we have this notion of like task groups, not just the steering committee doing everything. And I think we talked about adding a sentence with like mentioning that task groups would be created. Do you think that should be in here?
I think you should let the committee figure out how it wants to divvy up the work, because I'm
Okay.
surprised, for example, there's no mention of a consultant in here. And I think that's gonna be necessary at some point, but,
Well, the thing is, you don't want to capture everything
right,
here. I mean,
Because
this is the bylaw, now they're gonna work on the rules and regs,
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of emphasis in this, as it's written, on people with expertise.
Mhm.
How does planning board intend to populate these 11 positions? Because it's interesting that the planning board is making the selection, and not a joint committee, but
We can do that, we can do jointly too.
I-
We didn't want to know, like, how, we didn't, well, and even, like we said,
I'm not objecting to that, I'm just trying to understand
Yeah.
how those positions would be divvied up.
well, I mean, we gave the categories, we were just gonna try to get a wide range of people. I mean, we didn't want to make it so specific in here that, one person for this, one person for that.
Oh, okay.
We were gonna try to, like, get a range of skills.
Yeah, and I think the idea is that beyond just advertising for these positions, it's almost cherry picking certain people that we know have that skill set. So if the board of selectmen, have some recommendations for who should be sitting on this committee, I mean, that's a conversation we should have. So I think it's very open-ended, and
Yeah.
the planning board will be, very amenable to
Yeah.
that.
Is it customary for these to be populated entirely by volunteers and not have any, the DPW director or
I know in the
yourself
past,
or?
yeah, I know in the past when they did the
Rebecca.
master plan update in the early 2000s, they did have officials sitting on that committee. So as long as they were doing it, correctly the first time, I don't see why we couldn't do it again, this
Where
time.
they could be part of the
So-
working groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I assume that I'm gonna be attending all of these meetings and
Yeah.
being there helping them, so even though I'm not listed, I plan on, fully being, participating in this. So.
Okay.
I think it's probably maybe good to keep like 11 residents, but then, yeah, for sure, like, the housing group will get maybe, whoever, some official in that area.
Yeah. And sometimes I think I take for granted, because I feel like we work so closely in town hall and all of the departments that I just assume that's gonna happen anyway, because,
Okay.
I mean, Rebecca's here, we constantly talk.
Okay.
So I just assume that's gonna happen anyway, even though they're not on the list, like, I'll be going to Joe for, various items and,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
I guess the first step is seeing who's interested.
Okay.
I think we gotta find 11 people who are willing to do this, and hopefully they'll have some expertise. And if we need to bring in some consultants, then we can do that.
I agree, because I anticipate this being potentially a 2-year process. So in the first year, if we can get a lot of this information together and then bring on a consultant, I think at that point, we'll have a better understanding of what
Mhm.
level of service we need from them. So it kind of makes sense, I think, to start here and then kind of maybe go that direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So,
there
and
can be a
at
lot
that
of
point-
upfront work done that you don't have to pay a consultant to do.
Okay.
Yeah, and also that gives me time to do research on grant funding,
Mhm.
whether it be through MABC or whatever.
Mhm.
So.
Okay.
Would you guys want to be involved in the selection of this committee? And if so, we can definitely have that.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
We can even vote on it. I mean, potentially, maybe in our meetings, we can interview people or screen people and then vote on them jointly, or we can screen them all together. It's, we're open to whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't ready to discuss.
No, that's
that.
fine.
Can't-
I'd suggest to see what the response is, and
Okay,
then once you see what the response is, I think you can figure out the process from that.
okay.
Yeah. Let's see if anybody's interested.
All right.
And shall report directly to planning board and board of selectmen.
Yeah.
We were kind of thinking potentially we have like a joint quarterly meeting or something.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes good sense.
And I'm as involved as you need or
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, as Erica said, whatever support the town hall can provide. Plus, it's one of my goals for FY20 anyway, so.
There you go.
Which is, and this discussion tonight is the goal discussion for July, so.
Kill two birds with one
All
stone.
right. Are we ready for a motion?
You need to have a joint appointing committee?
No.
Just to approve.
To-
the
to
charter.
Oh, the charter, oh, sure.
Or do we want to have, or is there more discussion?
I don't think so.
No,
Is there
No?
more discussion from anybody in attendance?
Is what you guys voting, or planning board as well?
I think it could be 2 separate votes, maybe Board of Selectmen votes first and then planning board.
You have a quorum?
Do we have?
We do, we've got
Yeah,
4 of
we-
us.
cool.
All right, so I move that we accept the Master Plan Steering Committee Charter as amended.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Do you,
Want us to make a motion?
yeah,
I'll make a motion to approve the charter as presented to the Board of Selectmen,
As amended.
as amended.
The second?
all in favor?
Okay. We're good.
I don't know if, we also have I don't know how much you want to go through it today, but we have the kind of action item list from the last.
Yeah, so as part of the previous master plan, they had put together this implementation matrix, which basically outlines all of the goals of the plan.
Mhm.
So my expectation is that through the summer, I'm gonna basically go through this, figure out what we've accomplished, what we haven't accomplished, and then begin adding to this list based on previous planning board meetings,
Mhm.
knowing that
Okay.
certain things need to get added, and that'll be hopefully a working document for
Okay.
this committee. So that's the idea.
Great.
Good.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. All right, well, next up, since we have everybody in the room, update on the Century Mills Estates Road acceptance.
You just met with Andy today, so if you want to.
Okay, so I met with Andy and one of the residents that sits on the steering committee for the HOA. And so essentially, we just talked through some of the more recent issues that need to be sort of wrapped up before Andy will agree to start construction on the partial road acceptance. So obviously, just discussing the process sort of on high level, in a high level way. Once he does start that construction, Fred Hamway will be out there doing all the inspections, and once the town approves the work that has been done, then Andy will come to planning board, and then the board will review it and then approve to have the bond released as we go along. So we will keep, that's a standard practice, and we'll keep to that as things advance. Did you have any specific questions that?
Well, I guess the question that I have is, why are we releasing any money? I think we should have sufficient funds that we're holding on to until we get to the spring. And when we go back out to look at what we reviewed in the fall or the winter, just hopefully he gets to as-built.
Yes.
And that in case he doesn't get the work done, or the work requires rework, that, and for whatever reason, Andy's no longer in the picture, that we have sufficient money to do that work.
Mhm. So in regards to subdivision control law through Mass General Law, as the work is completed and inspected by the town and approved, we are required to give that bond money back. We can't technically hold on to it. Town council did weigh in on that. However, our subdivision rules and regs do say that we should require at least 10% be held back through the winter prior to road acceptance at town meeting. So that's the procedure that we're following.
10% of what?
The initial bond that was.
And is that $250,000? What is it?
No, it's roughly 70,000.
That's what we left, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So-
what would be held back. is
That would
right?
be, yeah, that's the 10% that would be held
Okay.
back.
Or 70,000?
70,000. The problem here, and this is why this project is so complicated, Andy doesn't have the money to actually do the work. So his expectation, his anticipation is to use the bond money to pay his contractors. So the idea is he's going to be talking to his contractors within the next week, is to have them do the work up front, and then once it's approved and reviewed by the town, then we release that bond money. He would take that bond money and pay the contractors.
Up to the 70,000.
Up to the 70,000.
Mhm.
So, but even then, based on our conversation today, that's another issue. He, as per Mass General, he has the ability to change the type of surety that the town is holding, whether it be a tri-party agreement, cash bond, or, covenant, whatever. So in this instance, he was looking to change it to an insurance policy. We had town council review that insurance policy, and town council came back and essentially said, we can't approve this because it only covers damages and not the actual construction work performed. So if for whatever reason the craftsmanship isn't good and something happens out there that's not related to damage, potentially this policy isn't going to cover it. So town council said, no, that's a problem for Andy. He said that he needs the $70,000 back to help pay the contractors. So based on the conversation we had today, he's going to look at maybe doing a combination of sureties, maybe the insurance policy to cover damage, but then also the town holding back maybe not 10%, but a certain percentage in case there were issues out there related to the construction.
So what if we get to the fall and we go out to review the as-bills and they're not
Well,
done?
hopefully that won't be the case, because Fred Hamway should be and will be reviewing as the work
Mhm.
progresses. So as they're completing the work, he should be out there saying, no, 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 you're not meeting spec, you know, here's my inspection report, you need to, you know, do whatever to correct the issue. So hopefully we won't get to that point. I know, I understand. The problem that the planning board faces as well is the fact that we have about $254,000 that we're holding in cash bond that isn't sufficient to cover a 1.5 markup. So even if we wanted to hold all of that money back, and Andy said, you know what, I'm just gonna walk, next year, if we wanted to use that bond, it wouldn't cover all of the work that needed to be done. That's sort of the dilemma.
Yeah,
So it's
well,
kind
because
of,
we recalculated.
yeah.
That it's not like we were releasing past what we were supposed to. Now with this partial road acceptance, we redid the bond estimate and items were added and recalculated. So that's, and on top of that recalculation, we added the 1.5.
Right.
Yeah.
And things that we did release bond money for, let's say 3 or 4 years ago, have now deteriorated and may need to be fixed. There are things that we didn't anticipate that we
Well,
now have to account for.
yeah, and I think that needs to
So-
be taken into consideration, because we released bond money, and now, you know, that work has to be redone.
Yeah.
So that's, I think there is sufficient, you know, special circumstances here. And I know that, you know, Andy keeps saying he doesn't have the money, and, you know, he needs the money that we have in order to finish the road. But I'm very concerned. I mean, if all things worked out well, the road should have been accepted 2.5 months ago. And, you know, it should have been done.
Mhm.
And Andy didn't do anything last year, and I have to assume that as of right now, Andy still hasn't done anything
Yeah.
towards, and now we're in July. So, I mean, I think, I hear what you say, you know, by law, we have to do this, that, the other thing, but, you know, Andy hasn't lived up to his part of the bargain for quite some time. I have a suggestion. If Andy wants his money released, Andy should turn over to the town at least 5 of the lots in phase 1. At least 5. I was gonna say the whole phase 1 thing, but some of the lots have already been sold. I would say he should turn over title, free and clear, to the town, at least 5 of the lots. You know, these here that are facing on Century Mill, you know, so 1A, 2A, 78A, 77A, 76A, and maybe even 75A. Because depending upon what might happen, how you could actually, you can't put a road in, so you gotta worry about frontage and all that stuff. But he should turn over title to those lots. If he says he is gonna do what he's gonna do, then come May, we'll turn it back to him.
Mhm.
Does he
And
honor?
that's his surety that he gets the road done.
Mhm.
Because I have no confidence whatsoever that he's gonna keep coming to us, and he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that, we're gonna keep releasing money. Something's gonna happen, and we should anticipate that something's gonna happen. And he's either gonna walk or whatever, and we're gonna be stuck with a road that's not done. Plus, to your point, money that we released 3 or 4 years ago, that work has to be redone too. I think this is a way that the town gets some guarantee that he does the work. And, you know, these lots aren't selling. I mean, he's had this property for sale for some time now. And I can see now, based upon, I pulled this off the other day, he only has 4 of the lots sold. My guess is it's gonna be some time before he gets the rest of them sold. And all we're gonna do is hold the property until he gets the work done. He gets the work done, he gets the property back. He doesn't get the work done, then we have some land we can sell to get the work done.
But the cash we already have, you would not give that to him in exchange for this, would you?
Sounds like that's what you're saying.
Oh, sure. I think in that case, I'm more confident that if he wants bond reduction, sure.
Oh, you mean as a pay-as-you-go, it's not just to turn it over to him?
Oh, no, pay as you go. Just like we said, if he needs the money to get the road done, fine. But we have 5 or 6 lots that the town owns, right on Century Mill, that if he doesn't get it done, I'm sure we can find somebody to sell that property to put in a common driveway, to put in 4 or 5 homes if he doesn't get it done.
I think that's a really interesting concept. I mean, essentially what we would be doing is, rather than taking cash, we're taking land to get to that 1.5 markup value,
Mhm.
right?
At
That's
the very-
essentially
at
what
the-
we'd be doing.
At the very least.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's a really good idea. as
There's
long
no
as-
expense out of his pocket.
No,
Right.
it's really just,
He's turning over title that he gets back if
yeah,
and when the work is done.
that's a good idea.
So you're saying we'd hold back to the 70 or just let it all go and hold the land?
Well, we give back to him what he's supposed to get back normally.
Yeah.
If there's 70, whatever this 10% is left that we still hold, then we still hold that. But this way, you know, if Fred Hamway approves whatever work he does, we write him a check. You know, over the normal plan.
I need some perspective here. So just, I'm sorry to take this off track, but it seems that every 6 weeks or so for the past year, there's been, on the planning board agenda, meet with Andy to discuss bond release. Has there been any money released since we had the massive meeting between the planning board, the selectmen, and him?
No,
last
no
fall.
money's been released from that bond since, like, I wanna say 2016.
Okay, so it's always there as an
It's been a
agenda
long
item,
time.
but it's never,
It's more just to, like
Just
we're
talk
doing
about the bond
tonight,
estimate,
discuss
okay.
the process and how it's gonna get done and what's
Okay.
holding him up and how can we facilitate this forward, and it's unfortunately just hasn't gone very far.
yeah, so this proposal's new to me, but it's intriguing.
I mean, it's no money out of his pocket.
And we'd be satisfied.
We have some surety that if the work doesn't get done, we have an asset that we can turn around and use.
And these lots are not affected by the work he's doing, that we're expecting him to do in any way.
No, no.
So there's no contingency of
No.
of the value of those lots changing based upon what
No.
work he gets done.
He needs to get the road done, the partial acceptance through someplace in here,
Okay,
okay? This piece in the middle, he's already sold off to 3 different developers. He doesn't even own this, he doesn't own this middle piece anymore. This piece is on the market, these 15 or so lots.
okay.
4 of the 15 have been sold. This abuts Century Mill Road. This is where you see all the boulders and stuff. So I'm proposing we take maybe 5 of those lots, maybe 6, and just hold on to them. He turns over title to us. And in May, when the town says, road's beautiful and we accept it, we give it back to him.
I just say, we might not want the ones that are all ledge. Right, along Century Mill,
Yeah.
Good
1A and 78A. I don't know
Well,
if they can even be built on.
I'd also be careful whatever is gonna be needed to put that other road through.
Has there been any talk about that? Putting the
About-
road connecting to Century Mill
Not at this
No.
point.
or doing
No.
a cul-de-sac?
No, I think that's a discussion for another day.
So we would take the lots with frontage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, the lots with frontage, maybe 1 or 2 in the back, because if we do a common driveway, we're gonna have to have frontage on Century Mill. So maybe then you combine 2 lots into more of a backland lot so that you get that frontage. So, yeah, that's what I'm proposing.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting concept. My only concern is that he's gonna push back on that that remaining 10%.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
So perhaps, we just, again, it's more, we take that much more land in phase
Well,
1 to cover that.
I think,
Including, and have that insurance policy in place as well. 'Cause it does
Right.
cover damage, so it does cover something.
but the town is not a source of risk to him. Whereas he is a source of risk to the town. And I think that's gotta be kept in mind by everybody. It's not a level playing field, right? If presumably the worst case that happens is that he walks, in which case we're gonna spend more than what we have in escrow.
If we had it.
If we had it, if we had to do that. So, again, he's a source of risk to the town. The town is not a source of risk to him.
Well, we have part of the risk, but the homeowners association has a lot of
The
risk.
greatest part of the risk.
And the town hasn't accepted anything. So it's really gonna be on the homeowners, and it's only our risk if the town
but assuming if the town will only make a recommendation, town accept the road, if our engineers said that, we don't know if that's gonna happen. We could wind up in November where nothing's not complete. It's not complete, there are no as-built, or the work is done, and for whatever set of reasons, something happens over the winter, and there's no money to fix it. So, to your point, we're not a risk to him, but he's a risk to the town. And I think this way, this protects both the town as well as it protects the homeowners.
Yes.
And it protects both of us, so that we get the work done, no matter what. The work will get done somehow. Either Andy will be motivated to do it, or if he's not motivated, we have something else in our back pocket to satisfy the needs of the residents, and it keeps the town whole.
Yes.
Is it appropriate to ask a question?
Sure, yes.
Oh, thanks. Are the...
Could you identify yourself?
Sharon Chappella from Warner Road. The lots that you're proposing to take, would it be comfortable for the developer to simply chop those off and not use them? In other words, does he have a value interest, an immediate value interest in owning those lots? If they are off to the side, if they're the ones going down over the boulder field,
They're along Century Mill.
Century Mill, he might, I'm worried because this does not seem to be, our relationship does not seem to be with an honest broker here. We're working with a difficult person. Were you to rather claim lots that he is counting on selling now?
The only
Instead,
the only lots that are left are in what he calls phase one, which is the set of land that's closest to Century Mill Road.
But you said that there were like 11 lots that he's still trying to sell? And he's only sold some of those?
Within that group. But in order to get to those lots, you need to construct a much longer road.
Okay.
So what you want is the lots closest to Century Mill Road. So all you would really need to do is put in more of a common driveway than a road. So you want the lots closest to Century Mill Road. That's the.
I was just thinking that he, if you don't take ones in which he has current skin in the game.
Those are the only. This group here is the only set of lots that he has a skin in the game. These he's already sold. The ones in the middle he's already sold to 3 other developers. These are the only ones that he has skin in the game.
Oh, those are the ones that are still not sold.
Of the unsold lots, we are looking at, Stan is proposing taking the most appealing,
Correct.
which are those immediately
Yes.
along Century Mill Road.
So not the
No,
ledge,
not the back
corner
end.
Oh, no.
No, not the back
I've
end lots.
seen that and I'm thinking,
No,
oh my
we're
God.
proposing taking the most appealing lots.
Ah,
Absolutely.
okay, so it would mean something to him. In other words, it's a
Mhm.
good bargaining chip.
Yep.
Thank you, that's what I was concerned about.
Garrick, I would just wonder about these lots and whether they've been approved for septic systems, just
to get-
based on
right.
the land
I
formation.
mean, just to get subdivision approval, they would have had to go through that process with Board of Health. They would have had to do so many test pits and testing.
Over here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they have to
Yeah.
prove that they can build on those
Right.
lots. So I'm assuming that they're buildable, but that is something to.
I mean, that's part of the, we'd have to go back to the original
Yeah.
plans which show where the test holes were, but, in any subdivision, you have to show that the lot would support septic.
Well, I just
Or-
know
or-
that
or
this
you-
lot is
or-
all ledge, or
Well,
predominantly ledge, so I don't know. They're shared septic systems, so it's just, that's the frontage.
Mhm.
So I'm just questioning whether these lots are, because of the slope and because of the underlying geology, whether they're buildable
We-
at all. and
well,
whether they
they-
have any value.
they're buildable, whether it's with a shared septic or an individual system. I mean, just because it looks like a lot of ledge doesn't mean that it's, that they can't find good soil in there. We'd have to go back to the original, to the.
They would have to blast.
Well, I mean, you can't blast, you can't blast a hole in ledge and call it a septic system, so.
Right, so that's why I'm
You know,
just questioning.
so in order to have gotten the approvals in the first place, they would have had to show that that it was a viable lot.
They might
So
have done tests up the hill.
Jonathan,
Yeah.
well, we need to go back to the original plan and look and see where those lots, where the septic for those lots were planned to be, and make sure that whatever lots we would
Right.
look at taking incorporate the necessary,
Yeah.
you know, leach areas or what, you know, same thing with well locations, all that sort of thing.
Right, but to your point, at some point, they would have, some proof would have to have been done in order to make those lots viable for
Yes.
the plan.
Yeah.
Yes, you have a question, sir?
Yeah, I'm sorry, John Ballots, I'm a resident of Century Mill on 21 Snyder Circle. There's a lot that was said here that I agree with and disagree with, but I can't hit every point. But I will say that we were probably, with the planning board, I believe within a week of coming with something that would be or agreeable to both parties, and now that we're changing direction quite dramatically. What this is going to do, and I'm pretty confident what it's going to do, it's going to freeze the project, and we're not going to do anything. He has these lots for sale now. If you're asking him to give deeds to you, the sale's off, he's not going to want to take it off sale because he wants to sell it. So it's going to cause a major catastrophe for the residents. We were very close to agreeing with Erica today as far as the insurance policy, an extra holdback. A lot of things, Dan, that you said was in regards to the work not being done. That's what you have Fred Hemway to do. It has to be done before the money's gone. So you don't release bond until it's done. He inspects it. If he makes a mistake, that's on the town. That's on the inspector, not on Andy. So if he does his job, the only risk is failure over the winter. That's what you have the insurance policy for. That's what you have additional bond hold back for. We're very close to agreeing with Andy, with kind of Erica as a discussion point. We're going to bring that to the planning board next Thursday as a, maybe this is the way to go. What you're doing now is an alternate plan at the last second. That's not going to fly. It's an interesting idea. If it was brought up 6 months ago, you're going to put the residents in another spot where we're going to have to get our legal counsel to figure out how to get the town to take the bond, because that's not going to work, in my opinion. I understand we're trying to protect the town,
We're trying to protect everybody.
and that, I feel we were pretty close to coming up with something that would be reasonable and workable, and I think that's going to take us off track.
Well, I mean, Andy's had a history. I mean, I was on the planning board 20-some odd years ago when this project first came up. And, you know, I'm well aware of the history of this particular project and the trials and tribulations we've had to go through over those many years to get this done. In a perfect world, the road should have been accepted. It should have been done. As you know, last year, we sat in this room in April and nothing happened. It is now July 11th and still nothing has happened. That's my concern. And, you know, I don't want any of us holding the bag on this one. You know, if there's something viable, that's fine, but I'm very concerned that releasing money, we lose our leverage, and I don't have a lot of confidence, given the history of what has transpired at that development over all these years, that we're gonna have a successful outcome.
I just believe that this decision will freeze the project, and this is probably the last shot for Andy to have a shot at trying to do the road. It's going to be the town's taking bond to do it themselves. I think this is a decision point in my mind as a resident, that if this direction is taken and Andy freezes, then he's never going to do the road, and the town needs to start taking the steps to take the bond. If this is the path that the selectmen are going to require.
No one's requiring anything yet, but the thing is, you know, we haven't heard, the reason we're having this discussion is that we haven't really heard much about what's transpiring or what plans aren't. Our concern has always been, you know, the draining of the bond money.
Right.
And what happens come November, December, and if something isn't done, or Andy walks, or in the spring, you know, the work isn't done, or the work deteriorates, you know, where does that leave us?
Right, but you keep saying work isn't done. It doesn't get released till it's inspected, so the work has to be done. He won't release bond. That should be off the table. That shouldn't be a concern, because Fred Hemway will be inspecting, and the work has to be
Yeah, well,
done.
what I'm hearing is that and maybe I'm misunderstood, but what I thought I heard is that this new proposal says that he gets some of the bond money in exchange for an insurance policy.
No, what it's gonna be is he's gonna get a release bond at the end when it's inspected and complete. And there'll be some release along the way. The holdback for the winter damage is what the insurance policy is for, only winter damage. And the work has to be fully done, complete, and inspected by the Bolton inspector to release the bond. So it's gonna be done to release the bond. The
Okay.
policy is to hold it for the holdback.
So what's different than when we sat with him a year ago?
What's different is that we had no plan in place. The Weissmans wouldn't allow the turnaround, so we had no design plan, so he had to stop. We had no agreement on how to make a fire truck turn around. The town wasn't allowing us to use the existing circle. So we had to stop because there was no town agreement on how we could get the road in the state to be handed over. So we keep saying nothing last year. We got hamstrung by another resident or another owner last year.
Okay.
So he got stuck. I don't fully blame him, but we could have worked something out.
We're past that point
We're
now?
past that.
Well, the thing is, that's not the fault of anybody but Andy.
I don't disagree with
I
that.
mean, Andy decided to sell that phase of the property and didn't anticipate any of this. So I mean, that's still all on Andy. That's not your fault and that's not our
Right.
fault. That's Andy's fault.
I'm just asking the selectmen to think about the current proposal before changing direction, say, no, we're not even gonna think about this insurance policy plus a 10,000 or whatever number holdback to cover damages only, because I feel like that was worked out pretty closely and I think covers some of the risk that I would be uncomfortable with, than just saying, you know what, we're not gonna consider that, we want 6 lots, and I don't even know what we value those lots at. It's just a change of direction when we're close. That's my concern. That's going to put us way back.
So-
And not to, I'm sorry,
I'm
not to
not-
mitigate what was, or ignore what Erica said earlier. The definition of damage, as far as that insurance policy goes, we can't put too much faith in that. I mean, in what damage constitutes. I mean, you can have things deteriorate over the winter. It's not damage, it's atrophy. An insurance company is not going to want to pay off on something that just failed over the, I mean, damage could be struck by a vehicle, struck by heavy equipment, whatever. That could be what constitutes damage. So there would need to be a really clear definition of what damage is before we hang our hats on an insurance policy.
I would also add that, I noticed that this is on the agenda for the planning board next Thursday?
Correct.
Next Thursday. And I think it's a good plan, I think it's worth pursuing, but I do acknowledge that there are some unanswered questions about this plan that I don't think can be answered by next Thursday. So, I think we should be riding 2 horses here. Let's get some of these questions answered and see what falls out of next Thursday's meeting.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's what I was thinking as John
Are you
was
comfortable with
talking.
that?
Yeah, I think that's fine, because to Don's point, I'm concerned about insurance policy, because to your point, deterioration is act of God, and most
Yeah.
insurance policies don't cover act of God.
Yeah, damages.
And that's exactly why we had talked about doing a combination of the insurance policy with some holdback of the cash bond, which Andy seemed amenable to. He liked that idea, so I thought that could be a
Well,
potential option.
shouldn't we be holding back money anyway, regardless of
No,
insurance policy?
I
Or
agree, we need to hold back that 10%, but
Yeah.
how do we get there? You know, if we're trying to work with him towards this partial road acceptance, that's,
Well, my concern is that, you know, we agree to the insurance policy and nothing happens, and now we've got less cash to use.
well, no money would be released until that work was completed and reviewed and approved by the town, not only just by Fred Hamley, but I would want Joe Lynch to go out there.
But what's the insurance policy then?
It's to make sure that the road can survive through the winter before town acceptance.
Well, I think we need to, I think
That
we
needs
need
to
to
be clarified.
really clarify
Well,
what
town
that
council
means.
would help us.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So,
All right.
Exactly. So really what the bottom line is come the spring melt, when we go back out and re-examine the road, between the insurance policy, whatever the insurance policy would cover, and whatever has been held back, are we comfortable that
Right.
would deal with any, any reasonable concerns that we might have.
So the insurance policy is not to get some of the 700,000 early. It's to reduce the 70,000 outstanding down to a smaller number. That's all it's for.
That's all it's for,
All right,
and I
that was
apologize if
not-
I didn't
Maybe
make
you
that
guys
clear.
understood that, but
Yeah.
I didn't.
I mean, it may end up being the insurance policy plus 5% instead of 10%.
Correct.
All right, but
Yeah.
that wasn't clear to me. I thought the insurance policy was to reduce the $700,000, excuse me, $700,000 holdback before work was done.
Yeah.
And
So,
maybe even the insurance policy plus one lot, maybe that's an answer, I don't know.
and that's a discussion I can start having
Yeah.
with Andy early next week, even before planning board meets. Because the other thing that plays into that I've been thinking about is there is a covenant on that property, so it can be sold, but it cannot be developed on, and I don't know how that plays into if the town were to purchase it and would want to sell it and develop it. I don't know if that covenant somehow has to be
Right.
dissolved, or,
Right.
Mhm.
so
Right.
just something to think about.
Danielle, did you have something?
It actually was answered, so
Okay,
with
okay.
the rest of the, my concern was, or question, was what is Andy, and it sounds like we don't have the answer, what is Andy willing to do with regard to the 70,000? So I certainly don't think we should be releasing all of that. I would like to keep as close to 10% as possible. What is he willing to do? What do we feel comfortable about? But I like the idea of maybe it is that and just a lot, it sounds like there's some different options, but if there's any way to have some of these conversations before we meet on Thursday,
Yeah.
so that if he's not, we don't want to blindside him with these options, like give him time to prepare and to look into it and see if it's feasible. And then he can hopefully come to us on Thursday and let us know.
I agree. I mean, he had thrown out the number 10,000 today
Okay,
as the
that's
initial starting point.
out of 70?
Out of 70 with the insurance policy.
Well, the insurance policy is supposed to be the 70, that's what it is.
Well, I mean, the problem is that we need clarification.
Right, that's-
On
that's-
what exactly, I mean, if the finished coat of of the paving delaminates in areas, is the insurance policy gonna cover that, or is that an act of God?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then there's our,
And so, until we get some, look at kind of what there are things that we might be spending, need to spend that 70,000 on, we need to look at what of that the policy would cover and what wouldn't it.
That's right.
And then look at what those things would cost, and then base how much we hold back based on that.
Yeah. I mean, we've had
So-
residents, and so we have a steering committee now, so we've been trying to push Andy to have these discussions. He doesn't communicate all the time, so we keep telling him, we called Erica today, we set up a meeting with her, made sure it happened. We've talked to other developers, and they say this is very common practice to use insurance policies for the bond. And we know a couple developers who have done it. So it's not like this, I know there's some ambiguity and some uncertainty here about what it would cover, what it wouldn't cover, but I think it's pretty normal practice.
I think the
That may
interesting-
be, I mean, there's a lot of different insurance
Yeah.
policies you can get.
Right.
And you can specify what's covered or not,
Right.
and if he went with,
I understand.
bare bone minimum sort of thing where it'll cover any damaged mailboxes but nothing else, that's not gonna protect the town
Well,
or
I'll
the
make sure town
residents,
council is as available as they can be to work with you prior to
Yeah.
work with Erica, Andy as necessary.
I mean, if you've talked to other developers that have used insurance policies, if they could provide a copy of
I
that.
asked for that today.
For
but,
reference,
yeah,
so we
I asked today.
could compare and see what,
that's a good idea.
It's an interesting question how, if he can't afford to do anything on the road, he can afford an insurance policy on top of what he's got to do for the road.
Well, the road is being, all the contractors are being held back payment till the bond, because he's not having to fund any money. That's the way he's working contractors.
Well, okay, so if I
So their
agree to
insurance
that,
policy.
and then I hear he's buying an insurance policy, that would frost me a bit.
well,
So
the
I would-
insurance policy might be 5,000 or 10,000 as opposed to the
Versus
70,000
70, yeah.
that we'd be releasing.
And you can pay with installments, maybe on the insurance.
So he can stop payments after the road's
Yeah, so
accepted.
you can stop payments after that's the last, yeah.
Yeah. All we're trying to do is we want to make sure that the residents get what they need, which is a finished, complete, and accepted road. The town doesn't wind up holding the bag, and we can finally have Andy go on to some other town. I mean,
We're on
that's
the same page.
Trust me, I think that's what we're trying to do here. So, all right.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
All right, next up is the town administrator report.
Oh, it's not, so it's.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Okay.
Prior to that,
That's up.
Please, right over.
All right, let's back up one. Okay, next up actually, is the acceptance of a land donation from the Wendell family.
Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, Rebecca, how are you? Fabulous.
This one's hopefully a little shorter and easier.
Much easier.
Yes. So do you need a brief, or I didn't want to take too much of your time? I do know you've got some
So
information.
as I understand it, Sudbury Valley Trustees is buying a piece of property
Mhm.
in Berlin,
Yes.
which it intends to sell back to the town of Berlin. However, a piece of that property is in Bolton.
Correct.
And the question here is, will the town accept that just to make their deed and their whole transaction simpler?
Yep, and to clarify, they won't be selling it to Bolton, it's a land donation to Bolton.
Okay.
A small portion, it's under an acre. But that's it, they're also holding a conservation restriction on the land in Berlin, but I clarified it's not going to be held in Bolton because it would have to be filed separately, and it is not cost effective to do it that way since our Concom manages that conservation property.
So it'd just be a piece of land with no special designation within Bolton?
It would be, the request is that it's held under conservation
Mhm.
in Bolton with the potential, just like any of our other properties are, with public access potential,
Yeah.
but the general deed would just be under conservation.
Works for me.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
sounds good.
Always up for land donations.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
So I move we accept the land being donated by the Wendler family of Berlin.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So much.
Rebecca.
Have a good evening.
You were right.
Very
It was a lot shorter and a lot more.
Lot
pleasant.
painless, much more painless.
Have a nice night. Now, next up is the town administrator.
Okay, update on Minuteman. We have another building committee meeting next Monday, and we're hitting all our milestones. We haven't missed anything yet. All the key dates, and life is good at Minuteman, so I'm just gonna stop right there.
All right.
Update on the portico project. At the last meeting, I told you that the June deadline had become July. And now the July deadline is now August 17th. And that's largely, there's some additional off-site work being done that's taken a little longer than had been anticipated.
Is it
And
the granite
it's
steps?
a granite.
I was up at the quarry and I saw our old steps
Mhm.
and the new steps, so I heard about it, yeah.
You're a step ahead.
Bada bing.
That was a good one.
It is a granite. Also, the brick is on order, but not in yet. But that's not a concern. So August 17th. Also, we had asked for a quote for a change order to finish to power wash and finish off the front of the building, paint, and do some finish work to make everything look the same. The quote that we got from the contractor is not one that we found desirable. So Joe and I have discussed buying a power washer, renting a bucket truck, that type of thing, doing it with town labor on overtime, and it would be much cheaper than what we got from the contractor.
Okay.
So we're not, at this point, unless they would like to reconsider their change order, that's not something that we're going to have the contractor do.
Okay.
But we don't think that should impact the schedule. And although I sent the selectmen an email on this, I think it's high enough profile that I just wanted to say this at a selectmen's meeting, that it has been communicated to me by Kate Hogan that the cadet EMT program has been granted an extension of its current waiver until May of next year, at which time we will receive a 2-year waiver to get the program out to May, June of 2022. And that, at that point, we have no reason to believe that at that point, we would not receive ongoing waivers from that point. It's been up in the air for quite a while. Representative Hogan has worked really hard on this with the appropriate people at the state level. I've worked very closely with Kate. I've not received a letter yet. She actually thought I would get it this week. She called me yesterday, and she was going to be reaching out to the secretary to find out when we could expect a letter, but I'm not worried about that. We have an agreement, we have a verbal agreement, I just don't have the letter yet. So I think it's important for people to know that the cadet EMT program is intact and
Good.
it's not going anywhere.
Good.
And just as an FYI, not on here, I've exchanged email with the Lancaster Town Administrator about Tri-Town. And Lancaster's really jonesing to hold the Tri-Town meeting, so I said the Bolton Board was willing to host it in September, and Orlando said, fear not, our board will organize it for September, and we'll let you know what the date is, and let me know about any agenda items that you may have.
Did they say which year?
The implication was 2019,
Okay, good.
so,
Excellent. Excellent.
and unless you have any questions, that's all I have this evening.
Should we just schedule something for October now?
I'm gonna show confidence in
All right.
in our sister
All
town.
right.
Okay. All right, next up is Board of Selectmen business. Gentlemen, have any public service announcements?
I do.
Okay, well, you go first.
All right. I was asked just to remind everyone that winter will be coming before you know it. And to remind people that Friends of Bolton Seniors does have a program where people can make contributions, and we provide oil to residents who need it. And that is administered through the town hall. So it's never too early to start thinking about making a donation to
There you
help people for oil for the winter.
Super. Okay. I have a brief one, which I'll probably have more to embellish on at a later meeting, but it's come to my attention that certain residents of this town are being verbally abusive to the DPW workers at the transfer station. And specifically in regards to what people are potentially bringing up to throw out. And there are certain fees that are levied for being able to drop off items at the transfer station. And there are individuals that are balking at that, and in turn getting abusive with the DPW workers. The fees are the fees, they are published. Your taxes don't include getting the stickers. If you want stickers to drop off your trash, you can purchase them at the DPW station, or you can purchase them here at Town Hall. It's $2.50 for a 33-gallon sticker, and it's $1.25 for a 13-gallon white kitchen trash bag. There is a fee schedule, which I believe is on the Bolton DPW website. Things like, air conditioners and stereo equipment and tires and barbecue gas tanks and the like, that there are fees. And the workers will be asking you to pay the requisite fee to drop off. And I have asked the workers there to be as cordial as possible and not get sucked into these kinds of discussions with residents. We'll be looking at ways that we can try to mitigate that, but I find it unacceptable that the residents of this town are being abusive to the DPW workers, and I have witnessed this myself in person. They're there to do a job, they do a very good job, they're very friendly people, very helpful people, and they don't deserve this kind of treatment. So I would ask you to think twice when you go up to the DPW transfer station and act like a respectful citizen that you all should be. I may have more on this at a later date. Thank you very much.
I would just add to that there was a discussion of this at annual town meeting. That we're going to put in some rules and regulations. It's not like things have changed at the transfer station without anybody being notified. This has been public. The way business is done there has changed. It's changed at the request of the Board of Selectmen. So if some people have issues there, this is where they should bring those issues. The folks who are working there are just doing their jobs as they've been
Exactly.
requested to do.
Exactly. Thanks, Bob. All right, we're going to pass over the next agenda item, which is approval for Bolton Fire Department to donate the old SCBA compressor to another fire department for another meeting. Next up, we have annual appointments to appoint Brian Barabee to the Conservation Commission.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Next is to execute the lease agreement between the town of Bolton and the Bolton Conservation Trust for a room at the Houghton Building.
And we have a blank copy of that here.
Okay? And it's pretty much the same thing. we've
It's
done.
identical.
Identical, it's $500 a year for the room
So I
upstairs.
move that we execute the lease agreement between Town of Bolton and the Bolton Conservation Trust for a room at the Houghton Building.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. We all have to sign. While you're doing that, we will move on to the next item, which is a request for approval for an additional $100 in longevity pay for services employees who have accumulated over 20 years of service.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And to approve the bills and the payroll warrants, W19-27 and W19-27A and W2001 and W2001A.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And do we have any minutes?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Stick around.
So I move that the Board of Selectmen accept the minutes for the regular session of April 24 and April 25 of this year, and the executive session of April 25th of this year.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Okay.
Now, at this point, this is where Jenny learns how we go in, how we do executive session.
Ken's not here.
He isn't, but
It's very easy.
I can shepherd us through this, and there will be a test next week, Jenny, after this meeting.
All right. Next, there's a preamble. Drum roll, please. Next, we will be moving to an executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to the collective bargaining for the fire union, as the chair finds that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the board's bargaining position. The board will not reconvene into open session. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.